welcome back for Part 3 of Episode 7 of Atavar Ascension. To catch you up on where we last left off, Leon, Tomer, and Ajax are brought into the courthouse for the trial, and the events of the case are presented to the magistrate. Asked if the three accused have any representation, Ajax offers up Gold to serve as the group's counsel. Doing his best to attempt to defend his companions, Gold tries to explain things very logically and uses sound reasoning. At least, that's how it sounded in his mind. However, the delivery of such thoughts did not resonate well with the magistrate. But, due to some hard thinking on the matter, a decision was finally made to release Tomer, Leon, and Ajax, as the magistrate declared a mistrial on account of incompetent representation for the defendants. Now officially released as free men, albeit on a technicality, the party collects their confiscated belongings, and Gold requests a short audience with the magistrate, where he learns the harsh truth of why his companions were allowed freedom. Returning to the group, Gold confronts Ajax, Tomer, and Leon, and tells them how he really feels about the whole situation. And that is where we hop back into the action.
I can certainly understand where you're coming from with this. What we did, from a certain standpoint and perspective, would be seen as out of line.
I'm not worried about it being out of line. I want you to be smarter next time you do it. I'm not worried that it was the wrong thing to do, or if it was the right... If we're going to talk about this, Persephone here had casted darkness, which created a nice little wall for y'all to retreat behind and lure the enemy further back.
She didn't establish that with us.
She established that with me, that is on me.
And you didn't establish that with us.
You guys could have retreated further into the alley where you would not have been seen. No.
I was going for blood.
You could have drawn the line back and not been seen by everyone in the middle of the fucking city. You guys did the right thing. I'm not mad at you for what you did. What I'm mad about is that you guys went about it poorly. We are not this bad. That right there, that was D rank. We are double A.
We're just A right now.
No. We're double. We are better than what that guild tells us we are. And I want us to fucking work like it. If we're not going to work an official case and we're going to do something like that, we're going to do it smart. You guys got me?
There's some accuracy to what you're saying. But most of what I do isn't too quiet, though, as I'm sure you're aware.
I'm aware. There was a bustling center of
heat
the
of the moment. We got jumped.
I want you to just think next time, okay?
I did
That's
think.
where we're at.
Understood, Captain.
I do
Thank
understand.
You, Tomer?
I'm just quiet.
Tomer, we good?
For what it's worth, I want to be clear, it was a very shaky ride.
Oh, yeah.
Very shaky.
The plan was not communicated. We did what we had to.
Well, Gold was trying to explain, of course, that that's what we need to work on. Communication. I can agree with that.
Fair enough.
We're going to head out to the farm.
Alright. So you guys are now working your way out through Northgate, wherever the map is. I think it's under your
That was a good threat, by the way.
Oh, there we go.
That's the one with the outline.
There we go. So up through Northgate, and there is a actual gate on the city wall coming out of Northgate that does head out to the farmland, so it's actually not that far of a trip from where you're at, especially with the wagon. It only takes you about 15 minutes to get out into the kind of the farmland. And you can see out there are just huge swaths of fields that have various crops in them. There are some fields that are simply grasses that have livestock, various types. You see some cows, some horses, a couple other kind of odd-looking creatures. One looks kind of like a horse, but It's actually a little bit shorter, longer neck, and a lot furrier. I haven't seen one of
A
those
small
before.
giraffe.
Starts spitting,
Oh no, a llama.
But you see a couple, strange things like that. You do see some areas where there's pens that have lots of pigs in there, things like that. So, lots of big farmlands, big ranch areas. Mixture of livestock and crops in it. However, with all of this farmland, you only see 2 from where you're at. Large farmsteads. As what you had discovered before and learned about is that there really is only about like 5 or 6 families that do all the farming, but they are huge farming operations. And they all have their sections of land that do their things. So it's more like, big business kind of farming. So they employ lots of people to help them, work the fields, help with the livestock, all that. So this is big business farming. And as you are coming along the road in your cart, you notice there are a couple signs. One sign you've been this way before. When you made your way out to go up to Woodhurst. This is the gate you went through. And as you see the sign, there is a sign that points and goes, Woodhurst. Out that way. You also see a couple smaller signs going on these smaller trails, one leading to one farmstead, one leading to another, and the one on the left says Lavare.
Okay, I was going to ask people if that works too.
What rave?
I will say while we're writing, I'm going to write everything that I know so far of what has happened in my personal journal and just put it away.
Okay.
And I'm still trying to explain my case, my side of it, to Gold the entire way.
I'm sitting up front driving, listening to Ajax.
Leon's just kind of twiddling his thumbs in the back. Seems like he's thinking pretty hard.
Explaining to him, look, the whole point was to get the guards' attention so that they could be brought to that scenario. I wasn't trying to be shifty about any of that. We were in the clear. We got jumped. I was sending basically a distress signal to the guards so they could see that we were getting jumped. That way they wouldn't find dead bodies and send a manhunt after us.
Well, now we know that the guards aren't on our side. So.
That is valuable information and also
If you wanted
correct.
to call the guards, why did we go for blood?
It was self-defense.
Well,
Self-defense doesn't entail murder.
The guards, well, we would have been murdered if we just sat back and let them hit us.
No, you hit them back. You don't need to kill them.
AJ,
We did hit them, they just happened to die.
Ajax. There's no.
No,
There's
I
no.
value his respect a lot, and
I went for blood, and that's
to
it.
know. Well, so did
That's
I.
what I was trying to get to.
No, but I had real reasons for it.
I think sometimes someone's ties with the past and someone's ties with family and kinship can be more important than professionalism. That is my honest opinion. I'd rather not live my life simply for the reason that I was born into it. Instead, I'd rely on ambition. That's why I can mostly support Tomer here. He was acting on ambition, on instinct, something that was tied to his past. I think to him it was worth it. We got thrown in jail and we still made it out.
The
I'm
side
not
of
trying
justice
to
prevail.
undermine Tomer's ambition. What I'm simply asking of you three is that if we're going to go after this, and we're going to take down his criminal organization, who the fuck are they?
Let's just say
Be honest with me.
the guy who's running it is the guy who killed my father.
That's all I needed to hear. Fuck him. But we do it with class and standards, you hear me?
We gained some valuable information.
We
though.
did, but we could have done it better. You could have not
True.
been thrown in jail.
But as far as bad situations go, this went well.
It did. I want to avoid it in
And
the future.
the fact
Therefore, I want us to do
it
better.
should have gone cleaner. What we did was completely within our rights.
That we clearly know we don't have.
But now we know we don't have them. So in the future going forward, we know that those guards are not on our side. We did come out of this with a plus.
We did. I'm not mad at you for what you
And
did. I want you to do
the
better.
goal
and
of what we
the best way
did-
to do that is for you to clearly understand. You hear me? I'm not mad.
But the only reason it was even bad at all was because corruption. That should have come out cleaner. The fact that we still got out on top of that is good. Yes, but that should have gone much better if everything was the way it was supposed to be, which we now know it is not.
Side note here. All discussions of what we should have done and could have done and what we should do in the future aside, I'm very concerned about who's responsible for releasing that man.
As you guys are,
Like I said, we
having this
gained
discussion.
valuable knowledge.
As you guys are having this discussion, I know your passive perception is like 16 or 17. What's yours? 13.
No.
Yours is what? 14
Passive perception, 14.
and
10.
10. Okay. You three. You all of a sudden. You're actually. Double check this. Just real.
3 as
Long
in-
story short, you gotta trust me, Gold. I had rhyme for my reason.
I trust you. That's why I'm not mad at you.
Fair enough.
But you understand my leadership style. I'm going to raise my voice and tell you what's wrong. You served with me.
On paper, it was right.
I
Okay.
agree.
You three all of a sudden hear Persephone say a few words, and you realize just a moment before that, oh shit, what's she doing? And the cart that you're all riding in now shakes really violently and then it stops as you realize she just cast thaumaturgy.
What the hell are you doing?
Hi to listen, you guys fucking bitch.
We're not bitching.
At all.
Listen.
Yeah, you didn't do anything.
Listen, I'll fix this tonight when we talk. Let's just get
Like
this
I
over
said,
with.
Gold's opinion of me is very important to me.
Well,
and
you
he-
two can kiss and make up later.
Maybe.
I'll explain everything tonight once this is done.
Everyone's gay for gold. Got it.
Listen,
That's how it be
let's just
sometimes.
get this done.
Well, if it's enough gold.
Listen, let's just get this
I'm
done.
enough.
I'll explain everything later tonight. Let's just get this done.
Man, gold would be a great stripper.
Not
He
with
would've said
his,
that 2 seconds later, there'd have been a...
not how honest he is. Damn, girl, you fugly. I don't want you. Next.
Get the fuck out of my sight.
All right. So as you are going up the pathway now that leads up to the Lavare's farmstead, we are going to take a break so that bio breaks can happen, etc., as needed, and then we'll be back. So,
Bye-bye.
if you will, pausey doodle.
BRB. On. Who's trying to play
Okay,
footsie?
so
That's me, sorry.
you are now
Player two
pulling
is
up
different.
to the Lavare farmstead. It is a vast set of different sized buildings. You see 3 different barns, all 2 to 3 stories in height, spanning, at least a couple thousand square feet each. You see a large farmstead, almost like an estate. Think an old plantation.
Man, we could have a
Large
lot of
home.
estates.
There are also lots of other outbuildings. Some maybe for equipment. Others housing workers that are been hired to work on the farm and given a place to live. Some of them are even small, like single family homes. Like, hey, you come work our farmstead, and you can have this piece of property to build a home on. So it's almost like its own little community with the farm family at the head. As your cart pulls up on the main path and kind of circles around the dirt road set up that is in front of the main estate, you curl around and park right in front of the steps leading up to the nice double doors of this large home. It is now up to you guys.
Alright, let's file out.
I jump out.
Walk out. As you guys are getting out of the cart. You see the doors open, and a young woman, probably in her mid to late 30s, begins to walk out wearing a beautiful white and silver dress, flowing all the way down near her ankles, and she just kind of almost floats down the stairs towards you.
It's a ghost!
We get to see ankle cleavage?
Possibly.
Oh no! My weakness.
Her strawberry blonde hair is tied up at the back and twisted around into a bun. And she walks over towards you and says, yes, hello, how can I help you?
We are here from the Freelancers Association, here to deal with the livestock disappear.
It's about time someone took that job. Oh, we've been devastated, absolutely devastated. Well, I suppose before we get you started, do you have your official paperwork? Ah, yes. Excellent. So, my name is Amelia Lavare. My husband is currently out in the fields, tending to things, working with the workers, but, well, the situation is as follows. You know what, it is hot out. Why don't you follow me? And she turns around and begins to walk up the stairs back towards the house, looking behind to see if you follow her.
Yeah.
Yep.
As she leads you into the house, she brings you through a grand foyer that opens up towards the back, where you can see a nice sitting room set up towards the back of this foyer as it kind of opens up through an archway. She leads you into there, where it is littered with several comfortable-looking couches and chairs, a fireplace that is currently unlit due to the warm temperatures outside, and you can feel a breeze flowing through as the very tall windows at the front of the house and at the back here are open, allowing that breezeway of air to flow through the property and try to cool everything. She takes a seat in one of the comfortable chairs and gestures for you to join her.
I sit furthest away from the window.
Okay.
I sit down on whatever seat's just available.
Yeah, I plop down in the first seat I see that looks comfortable.
I
sit down.
remain standing.
Too good for a chair.
A servant comes in and begins to put tea in front of all of you.
Wonderful.
Putting a cup of tea next to you on a little table. So,
I pick it up like super uncultured. I'm just like looking at
just
the
like
cup
manhandling it.
and I take a big drink of it. I assume it's very hot.
Yes, it is.
Like,
oh. And the lady of the house herself has a sip, and then looks at you all and says, the situation is as follows. Over the past several weeks, we have had livestock that have either gone missing or were found torn to shreds.
What time of day would the livestock being found?
The ones we did find were discovered in the early hours of the morning, when we normally go out to check on them, and, well, not myself, of course, but my husband and the workers go out to check on them, change their pasture, or, if necessary, bring them in for some of the other chores that are required to take care of them.
Are any of these animals still around that we could take a look at, see what we're working with?
Well, I don't know. I have not heard of any reports yet from the field for today. Usually we don't hear such things until a little bit later, as our lands are quite expansive, and it takes time to get out there and back. But all the ones that I know of, the remains were disposed of afterwards. If there are any that have happened today, or last night, I should say, then we should hear word of that relatively soon. Those would not have been dealt with. But I think, yes, it has been approximately 70 or 80 head of cattle.
It's got a high kill count. It's hungry.
A few of our llamas, and a couple goats.
What's a llama?
Any telltale signs of whatever is attacking it?
It's like
Any
one of those long-necked horses.
mucus remaining?
Really furry.
Any sharp gashes? What
spits?
very obvious things are you seeing?
My
Real assholes, honestly.
it has a theory. He believes it might be a pack of wolves. There have been known to be wolves that come from the forest surrounding the land, but typically none this far in. I mean, we
Also,
we
not
do
that hungry.
well.
That's fairly consistent.
A good sized pack of wolves could take quite a few, but
Over what course of time?
several weeks now. I think it
Holy
has been,
shit!
This is beyond wolves if it's
It-
that many heads of cattle over that short period of time.
It may be now about 8 or 9 weeks.
Okay.
It's still ridiculous.
That ain't
Still
wolves.
about 10 heads of cattle per week, which just doesn't line up.
They would eat one head of cattle a week if
Exactly.
it was wolves. You get a pack of 9. May we speak to your husband out in the field?
Yes, absolutely. I believe he is in the western pasture. I can have one of the workers lead you out that way.
Don't worry about it. It's best if our investigation is done on our own terms.
Very well. I will return this to you for now. I know we are not the only ones who have suffered. Others have complained that they have seen similar, maybe not to the extent that we have, but a few here and there.
The other farms, I'm guessing?
Well, our nearest neighbor in particular. I have not spoken to the other families, but the Tresmes, next to us, have said that a few of theirs have also gone missing. None found, simply missing. It could be that they were chased away by the wolves. And mind you, not all 70 or 80 head of cattle were found.
They're just missing.
They're just missing. So it could be that they escaped, and which is why, so many others have been taken, is because about half of them are just gone.
Either way, we're going to look into it.
I appreciate that.
Alright.
Just
Thank you for the tea, man.
Just
You're very welcome.
heads up, we might end up needing to stake it out at night, so want to give you fair warning.
Whatever you see best. As far as your methods, I leave those up to you. You are the professionals, after all. And should you be needing a place to spend the night, we can provide you one of the worker houses. I'm sure there's plenty of them. We have quite a few families here that have extra space. We can find some for
We
you.
will likely be staying out with the animals, although I appreciate your offer.
Yeah, we might just.
We have a job to do.
We might just drag a wagon that we brought with us.
I'll
around and
dress
just,
up as a giant
Just camp out
sheep.
to keep an eye out.
Do sexy sheep poses.
Bah!
You guys are just forcing me to draw more and more of Ajax on a sheep.
Yes. Ajax in a sheep costume.
Yeah, shirt cocking that sheep costume.
sheep costume with
Wolf comes up
assless
to bite me. I
chaps.
stand up in
Assless
the sheep costume.
Surprise!
Next up
It's
is
me
gonna
in
be some
wolf
kinda
form.
It's gonna
Weird
be
BDSM shit.
it's
No.
gonna be like the kitten Japanese lingerie.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's gonna be like the old Looney Tunes.
Yes,
where
that's
the
what I
dog
envisioned.
dressed up as a sheep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Sheepdog.
Just grabs him.
Yeah.
Alright. So I guess we head out into the field, unless you guys want to ask her any other questions.
I'm good. None for me.
All right.
Okay.
So you guys head out into the field. You take your wagon, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we take our wagon down the trail.
All right. It takes a little while. These are fairly expansive farmlands, but after about a good 20 to 30 minutes, you finally see off a little ways in the distance. You see several workers moving around. Someone on a horse that seems to be kind of directing things. And as you get even closer, it is pretty clear that, well, that guy on the horse is probably Mr. Lavare, as he is dressed quite nicer compared to the other people that are kind of milling about. Some seem to be dealing with some of the cattle. Others are mending a fence that is nearby on the edge of this property. And some seem to be gathered, about 3 of them, in one area kind of clustered close to where Mr. Lavare is sitting on his horse.
Mr. Lavare, we need to speak with you.
As you shout that out, you see the man's head turn. He looks your way and just kind of waves you over.
I start walking towards him.
Yeah, I guess we dismount the wagon.
All right, you eventually approach and you see a fairly handsome man. Looks like he's late 30s, early 40s. Quite a full beard, some gray running through it, but a very nice full head of hair that has a
Unlike
few
the last
streaks of gray through it, but the rest is jet black. And he seems very distinguished with his kind of reddish-brown waistcoat, his fine silken pants, and his
Silken pants out to the
black-dyed
work
leather boots
fields.
as he sits tall astride his steed. Come and rescue the great Kenneth Pike. Yes, how can I help you?
We're here from the Freelancers Association. We spoke with your wife a little earlier.
Oh,
We wanted
hang
to
on.
ask you a few
Are you
questions.
Are you Mr. Lavar?
Yes, Mr. Lavare.
Lavare.
Yes.
I apologize.
There must be a typo. It says Larav here.
Larave, that's what I've been calling it.
Never send a servant to do your own work.
You should have just done it yourself to begin with, right?
As always, yes. But when it comes to things that require professionals, you get professionals, which is why I assume you are here.
That is correct. You heard him.
Have you come across any livestock recently that are missing heads, I presume?
He gestures over to where the other 3 people seem to be kind of clustered around. As you glance over there and you see amongst the tall grass, there is an area where lots of it seems to be like matted down as if trampled. And there is a carcass of a cow torn to shreds. Blood everywhere. And it is missing several of its internal organs. And just taking a look at it, you can tell that not all the cow is there that probably should be there.
The trample
No.
marks, does it look like big animal or many little animals?
Are you proficient in survival?
I am. Well, no, I'm not.
No siree.
I am. I'm gonna be examining the corpse.
Can I intimidate the grass?
Tell me what you
telling
know.
me the
grass.
truth.
Actually, the grass lays flatter.
I also have advantage on survival.
Oh, excellent.
Domer, we're gonna investigate the corpse, okay?
All right.
Advantage on survival or proficiency?
No, he's got advantage on it.
I got advantage on it. I'm
Okay.
proficiency.
Go ahead and both of you roll.
Don't fuck me again. 15 flat.
19.
Where was that earlier?
So you had
Did you roll your advantage?
Oh.
You got 19, you said?
Yeah, I'll take 15. That was
Okay.
Dice is loaded as fuck, Oscar.
It's not. It's just
Tomer, you are looking, and you definitely see there are prints kind of in and around. It's hard to make out exactly what they are because of the way the grasses are, and the blood splatter, and just everything that is there. You, however, Gold, do manage to make out the general shape of one of the prints. It does look very much like a wolf, only quite a bit large. It's larger than what you would expect.
Fuck, where's my mom at?
Are you proficient in nature, by chance?
Oh.
I am.
Go ahead and give me a roll.
20.
Okay. It is quite large, but you know there are wolves that are not normal, everyday wolves. There are dire wolves, which could be big enough to make a print like this. There are other things that could make prints like this. One of which is in your party.
Hello!
But
What?
Different type of werewolf, I'd say.
The bastard.
But
You can control
as far as
yours.
exactly what it is, it's unclear. There are several prints all the way around. I mean, it's like there was
Animals.
clearly, a kind of a battle back and forth between the cow and whatever was attacking it, and however many there were. It's hard to determine if it was a single creature, multiple, but you definitely see large wolf-like prints. You also see some smaller ones.
Gold, what'd you find?
We're dealing with a pack of a subspecies of wolf. One, or possible many large species of wolf, possibly dire wolf, and then some smaller, so possibly normal wolves. Tomer.
Yeah.
Being as your background is what it is, would you be able to make out the scent of any of these?
Let me check, shall we?
Possibly see if they left any trail or urine or anything left behind.
We'll do. Investigation, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Advantage +3. Nat 20 +3.
Okay.
Which dice got it?
The Geralt of
Lucky.
Rivia dice. The werewolf dice.
You actually looking around at this and sniffing the air. You're like, okay, I definitely pick up a very lupine scent here. And you guys kind of watch as Tomer, kind of looking around, sniffing the air a little bit, begins to wander off towards where the break in the fence is that is being mended, and starts walking that way, as if he's on the trail of something.
I tell Mr. Lavar.
Lavar, please. I understand they misspelled my name.
We will be back shortly.
Alright, see you, Sir Lavari. Good luck with that fence.
But before we run off,
Yes.
I assume it's not going to be, but I'm going to check anyway. Any sign of burning in the sense of like a hellhound kind of vibe?
Not that you see.
Okay.
Don't get rid of this body yet in case we need bait of some sort.
Isn't the bait all the live ones? I don't see them coming back for the one they
Well,
already
meat.
took.
Meat is meat.
If there's still meat on its body, then it's still...
You make pretty good bait, Ajax. Pretty big, pretty meaty.
That's fair.
I'm only joshing.
Should cover you in pork grinds.
Madagascar
Now
this
that is a good idea.
Madagascar this shit. You're one of the penguins.
Alright.
Oh, boys!
Like I said, I stand up when they come to get me, just deck them square in the face.
Yeah, if you request that they leave the carcass
Just
there,
leave it be for right now. It ain't doing no harm sitting there.
yeah,
Except
Mr.
nothing.
Lavare,
Well, it's fertilizing if nothing else.
who, as he looks
It's only
at you,
one day. They ain't
says,
smelling yet.
please, to avoid further confusion with my last name, just refer to me as James.
James LaRave.
So your name's not Earl.
That is my father.
Ah, as he was formerly head of the estate. Understood.
Yes.
Guys, you coming?
We'll be there in a
And-
minute, Tomer. Just proceed down the trail.
Yeah,
And
I'm gonna
James-
follow. I'm gonna go with Tomer.
James kind of waves
I just need to
at
make sure they left that body
the
there.
three that are around the carcass, and they disperse and go over to the fence to help.
No, we can't.
Alright.
We can't use a live one because that's
We proceed
losing my
through the
livestock.
hole in the gate.
That's assuming
Um,
we fail at our
Can I
job.
use a survival check to assist Tomer in tracking?
Absolutely.
That is a 15.
Yeah, you guys, between your sense of smell and your ability to pick out the footprints and kind of the pathway, the trail, you're able to discern that it looks like they came from this direction. As you're following it out to the west, the pathway begins to curve north. And then eventually, after about a mile, you start to encounter more forested lands as the trees begin to get thicker and thicker. And the path turns once again towards the east and begins heading east and then northeast. As you're following this, you continue to go through the forest 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles,
It's a pretty long way for a wolf to go for a
4
meal.
miles.
If it's a wolf,
Along the way, as my favorite terrain is the forests, could I
that's why
be
they're so hungry. when
passively
they get there.
picking berries and continuing my survival checks along
Yes.
the way and
Absolutely.
having us eat some food? Because I'm
Yes.
sure you guys are hungry from almost being
Always.
butt-fucked in
Yes,
jail.
now it's by now.
That's not very nice.
you're looking at early evening. It is probably 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock at night. And it is slowly but surely starting to get dark. You know the sun won't set until sometime around 8 or 9 at night. But, so you have a couple hours, but it is getting there. And if you took the time to go back, you would get back to the field probably shortly after dark. If you continue on,
Are you
can
sure?
continue going and set up camp if you wish for the night.
Do we want to fight them on their terms or ours?
Well, I don't want to cause more damage to the farm, so might as well fight in the forest instead of fighting
If
in the
we
land.
Yeah,
know
but
we're
then
going
they
the
have
right
the
way, we know where they're going to
advantage.
be.
I trust Tomer's tracking ability. And
We're
you've
going the
never
right way.
doubted mine.
They have the upper hand.
As long as Tomer's confident that he's on the trail,
Yeah,
Well,
we're-
they
then
may
I'll
not
trust 'em.
expect to go into a fight in their own turf.
and if we're in a
We may
cave,
actually
we can
have the
corner 'em.
advantage here.
I'm kind of feeling what Persephone's saying this time around. She has a point, as if we could ambush them here in their own territory where they're not expecting it. However, if they're going after the cattle, I think that would be much more of an ambush.
But they're probably going to go in the middle of the night. They're not going to hunt. Right
There's
when it
also
becomes
a
dark.
large
Right.
expanse of land in which they have to hunt. We may be in the wrong place.
and they'll return here at some point anyway.
Could I go ahead and make a nature check to determine if we're downwind from the game trail?
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't I have advantage?
You
on
are in your
this?
favorite terrain, yes.
Yes. Or my proficiency bonus is doubled. Is what
Yes.
that does. So that is a 15.
Okay. Yeah, you think the wind is actually blowing south to north. So, based on the way you are traveling right now, you're actually heading kind of northeast. It's blowing across the game trail. If you turn more north, it's going to be at your back, and you will be upwind. But as long as you head in this direction or go further east, it'll be a crosswind, so at least you wouldn't be upwind.
As things currently stand, we are neither at an advantage nor disadvantage. If we wanted to press forward and possibly find where they are, we've gone several miles. I doubt that this pack of wolves travels 10 miles to get to a farm to kill a cow and then eat its corpse and run back another 10. That'd
If
be
it's
counterproductive. I'm confident it's some subspecies.
Oh yeah, it's wolf folk.
Probably direwolf led by a werewolf.
Never
Or
heard of that before.
or wolves commanded by a direwolf. If it's anything worse than that, very unlikely.
I'll leave it up to you guys. Press on or stay, or go back.
I
I
say
say we keep going.
I say
argued on
we
the
keep
case of
on.
Persephone, but I think we'll press on.
Keep her
Whatever you
going,
guys want to
bud.
do, really. I'm just gonna say, like I said, I think we're at the disadvantage, but
Look, I'm trying to trust your judgment more often. So.
Character development.
I know who she's sleeping with next.
Alright,
he's the only one I haven't
we
been there yet.
continue down the
Okay.
It's his
trail
turn.
trying to follow them.
Okay, as you are
Just making your
continuing
rounds.
down this trail, more time passes, and the sun touches the horizon. You know that you can either try to press on as it is, in the dark, or you could set up camp for the evening.
How many of us
Well, they're going to start
can't
moving
see
soon.
in the dark?
I tap my sword and ruin everyone else's low light vision. Give it light.
I got dark.
How big is the radius on that?
Not anymore, you don't. Have you ever tried to wear night vision goggles with a bright light around?
How big is the radius on the light?
I think it's
That's a
30,
good question.
30 feet.
But even
it's,
so,
it's
you
what?
wouldn't.
It's just light.
It's just like
If dark vision works the way I think it does, it's going to completely fuck up your
10
ability
feet.
to see.
20-foot radius.
I have a 15-foot
I
radius of light.
25 feet away.
I have
So,
15-foot
With
radius
this
of my
being
sword.
my favorite terrain, could I stay roughly 40
It's 40 feet
ahead of the
total.
party
No, it's
while
not.
in stealth? Since it
Bright
wouldn't
light and a
affect my
20-foot
movement
radius
to
and
do
dim
so?
light for an
Yes.
additional 20 feet.
Okay.
so roll
40
me a
feet.
stealth check.
Lights
It's
up
right
in
here.
a 20-foot radius. No more. Okay, no, I'm sorry. You're
That
right.
is
I
a
missed the
17.
words. You're right.
I'd like to veer off as well a little bit and roll a stealth to move alongside them stealthily, if that's alright.
Also, I lied. 45 feet.
Bunky, that is not great.
What'd
That
you have
is
again?
a
17.
15, I think? Yeah, 15.
Good to know.
So everyone else is going to move 45 feet away. Well, I walk by myself.
No,
I'm
I'm-
just 40 foot away.
I'm still next to you.
45.
Alright.
25.
So you're pressing on in the dark with light from Ajax's great sword.
I will say that will definitely not help us sneak up on them.
I'm not seeking. I'm looking to stop whatever it
As
is.
you're pressing on, I need both of you.
If
to
anything,
make
they'll see a meal
survival
and
checks
attack.
again.
Oh,
What are y'all rolling?
Survival.
I can do survival. Do I have to be proficient in it?
To track, you do.
I got an 18.
I got a 14.
Okay. The tracks seem to kind of... Well, that's the end of this episode. We hope you'll tune in next week for the next episode of Atavar Ascension.